think, for the lack of a better word, that was a very competent professional win. You guys did a lot of things right at both ends, you think?
Good team win, Doug. I think a lot of people contributed, right? Which is a small step forward to get a bunch of contributions and get some really good quality minutes. Even though they're 11-10, 9-11, but they were good. They were good for the most part by the guys coming off the bench and everybody I thought on the starting group contributed pretty well.
With Gary and 4 backups to start the second quarter, and it worked very, very well. What was the thinking behind that group to get him shots and the 3 tall guys?
Well, it was something we've been working on. Michael asked me before the game what we worked on. I can't tell you that we worked on a zone exclusively with the second unit. So we have been, like with that group of guys, just trying to work on just some kind of idea that will help them defensively, and it helped them just in transition instead of running back trying to figure out who they're guarding and getting cross-matched and all this kind of, just gets them back to a spot and lets them get that thing set up. So that was kind of the plan, and took everybody out of there, which was a risk, right? To do it, but we got to make some steps forward to be able to get some rest for those guys and get some contributions from the other. So we hit the lottery in the first half, right? Not so much in the second. However, I think it was a 13-5 run that at least it was 3 minutes and 30 seconds and not 90 seconds. Right, so I think in the overall scheme of it, it was a huge plus, and those guys, and I think for the first time out and not really knowing what it's going to look like, it was a good success.
Do you think Christian is sort of finding his, I don't know if it's second wind or just simplifying things for himself, but do you think he's found anything?
Well, I just think that he looks like he's moving a lot better, right? He's running better, he's jumping better, and again, man, if they would ever not call foul every time he swings to block a shot, he would really be. Just think about all these blocks that he's getting that are. Those seem to be clean enough. Getting a lot of ball to hardly, he takes 6 swats and he gets 1 block and 5 fouls and could easily go the other way. Some of those shot blockers, they let him block everything, right? And that'll come with time.
Sort of a weird game just in terms of the whistles and the stoppages and reviews. How tough is it to get a rhythm, maintain a rhythm as a team in a game like that?
Well, it was a little weird, right? You said it though. I didn't. Okay, you said it. It was just got to keep playing through it, and it was there were some big momentum plays, right? Like us on a 2-on-1 and a hand in the net call that ends up in a 3 for them at the end of the court. There was a couple reversals on some challenges. Just want to make sure that was a successful challenge. I don't know how they deem that successful. That one should be what's in the middle of unsuccessful and successful? That was a neutral.
Moderately successful.
The result of the challenge was neutral. The call stands, but we're moving the foul to another Raptor. How can you say that's a success? Right? They say it's success. Anyway, on we go.
That kind of right is technically right.
I guess you're right.
Fred made those 2 catch-and-shoot threes in the fourth quarter. He didn't have spectacular numbers, but that's the kind of big plays he hasn't been making a ton of, but you guys really need. What do you think?
Yeah, and I think OG hit a couple too, right? I think I think we're kind of used to that late in fourth quarters. Those 2 guys, hitting 1 or 2 of those and changes the scoreboard.
And the moment and the what you call
changes a lot of things, but it changes the scoreboard most importantly, right? Those are big baskets, and you keeps your 6-point lead to 9 or your 5-point lead, and that's what I think we've done really well. This team has, when they're in the past or whatever, we've got these little 4 or 5-point leads. It's getting down to crunch time, and we make that big play.
Scottie saw a ton of space again tonight. How do you think he handled that?
Well, much better. So I thought that just in general, both Scottie and Pascal played much more in rhythm tonight. Like stuff would happen and it'd get kicked out to them, and they just take the rhythm shot, and I kept saying that, throughout the game, and at halftime I really stressed it. I'm like we hit the paint, we've generated a kick out three. Just take it. Everybody, once we've hit the paint and it comes out and we've done some actions and stuff, we don't want to look for another action. We've already generated probably the best shot we're going to in that possession. Usually when you turn down catch and shoot threes, not usually, but more often than not, you end up with a worse shot than you already had, looking for something better. So you take the rhythm, good one. Even if it's early in the offense, you take it, and I think that's what both Scottie and Pascal did.
Before the game, you talked about Precious kind of just finding his rhythm and giving him that opportunity to do so. Did you think that he was playing in rhythm, and especially in that first shift he had with 4 points?
Well, he was part of the group, again, that, I'd like to get him way up in the minutes category at some point, similar to what he was doing last year, in the 20s or mid 20s or whatever, and use him that way, like he was, the second half of last year. That is going to take a minute here just because of the funkiness of what we got going on and trying to get stuff off the bench and how that's kind of manifested itself here lately. So I thought he did do a great job. I thought he looked good. He looked, those guys were flying around. They were creating loose balls. They were blocking shots. He made a couple nice buckets. And then, I think he's getting closer. So, man, I think that he can get out of that group and in with the other, maybe come in as one of the early subs in the first or whatever, and then maybe maintain with that group in the second too. We'll see how it all goes.
You guys had more scoring out of the role this game. Thad, Scottie, Christian, even Precious pinching in for that ball from that guy, and with a bunch of different handlers. What was the key to getting more points going downhill out of that play today? Actually,
just rolling. It was. Just way more consistently. But it's a really good question because it's when they're playing in such a deep paint drop position, right? You're thinking, well, what am I going to roll to? I'm going to roll right to my guy. So I think that makes you feel like you should pop more because that's where the open space is. That's true in one sense, but you still can put pressure on. Now, if the ball's going downhill, he's got to decide at some point, is he going to help the ball or not? And I think that the rolling was big time effective. We got a couple dunks, we got a couple little layups, and even if we didn't, it wasn't freezing us like it was a bit. I can't remember the game, but there was a game where we were getting a ton of pocket passes and stopping at the free throw line with, usually those are kickouts. I think it was a New York game. Right? Usually those are hit there and somebody collapses on that guy and they're kickouts, but they were staying home on that and we were not really having anything else to do with it. So using the momentum just to go attack them, try to make a tough shot, try to jump up over the top of them, try to move it around them, or try to get to the free throw line.
Scottie and Thad seemed to get in a disagreement to start the second quarter, or second half, I think it was, during warm-ups. Did you see what happened, and if you talked to either of them?
No. When was it, though?
Was it?
It was a video during halftime warm-ups.
Halftime warm-ups?
Yeah.
Okay. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
So I will, I may or may not investigate that, Eric. You can ask me again tomorrow if you want to.
Hit those 2 threes, the second of those 2 threes in the fourth, he kind of gave one of those roars we don't see all that often. A lot of emotion, and how do you feel to kind of get those go down and halt that momentum that Portland was building?
Just competing, man. Just trying to get a win, and again, laying it all out there on the line. That was a big swing. I just airball one, go down, hit one, do the vertical, get another one. They call a timeout. That was just a big swing there. So just competing in the moment, and trying to find a way to get it done, and we were able to do that tonight.
You guys were all standing up on the bench, cheering on the guys in the start of the second quarter there. What did that run for that bench unit mean for you guys tonight?
Just got to keep encouraging them like we talked about before, stay positive, and they responded well. Coach gave them a chance, and they responded the way you would like to see, so they got to continue to build on that. We need those guys. They pretty much won us the game tonight with that run, and they definitely battled again in the third and the fourth. Dame got hot for a couple of threes there, but I thought they did an incredible job. Our bench was great tonight, and we're going to need those guys going forward.
Fred, you mentioned Dame getting hot. How crucial was that stretch where Pascal was able to get the steal on him, then force the kick out that caused another steal, and then even the help side block?
Yeah, I think just continue to show him bodies and, throw a lot at him. I mean, Dame is one of the best in the league, so it takes multiple guys and multiple defenders, and just got to keep pursuing. I thought, we made it tough on him towards the end, and ultimately I think he ended up with 7 turnovers, and we were able to get out in transition, as always, get us some easy baskets. So Pascal had a couple big stops there late. And OG was great. Obviously, he got in a little ticky-tack foul trouble, but other than that, I thought we did a good job defensively.
Christian's been playing pretty well. What have you seen from him lately, and is it just a matter of a rookie getting more comfortable later in the season?
I mean, he's not going to be perfect every night, so I don't know what people are expecting him to do, but he looks like a rookie. He has good games, he has bad games. He was outstanding tonight. And he's gonna show flashes where he can play. There's gonna be different matchups that work for him and different nights where it works for him. But it's hard to put that much blame on a young kid like that at this stage of his career. For this team, we gotta find ways to help him. And tonight he gave us a big boost off the bench.
How important is one win given what's been going on around here?
Yeah, you take them, man. Turn 1 into 2, 2 into 3. I think just putting one foot in front of the other right now. Just try to build on this. It was a good night for us. Had a good practice yesterday, and a good day today. We got better tonight. We need to get better tomorrow and come out here next week for a hot Charlotte team. Anything else? Cool. Let me make this statement on the contract. I spoke about this before the season. Again, I would never speak on my free agency or contract negotiations, especially conversations between me and management. So it certainly didn't come from me, but I was never, I was never made a formal offer. I think we all understand what comes with the contract extension. Due to the CBA, if you understand how the cap works and how the contracts work, there's a 2-year anniversary that sparks the discussion of taking an extension. There was never a formal offer made. It was a mutual decision by both sides that the smart thing to do would be to wait it out. There was no rush, given that I can still sign the extension all the way throughout the end of the season. I also have a player option in my contract this summer, and we can deal with that at the end of the season. And I also am on the books for next year. So take my word for it. I understand we're in the era of taking 2 sentences out of an article and making it a tweet, and then all of a sudden, I get 300 messages last night that I turned down 114 million, which is not the case. So it's a little misleading, and I'm disappointed that it's come out. I don't want it to be a distraction, and I'm not going to be speaking on any contracts or any situations regarding my contract this year. I'm completely focused on this team. My loyalty is to this team and to this franchise, and trying to get us back, to the level that we're accustomed to around here. So I just wanted to speak on that, and this is the last thing I'm going to say on that. Thanks, guys.
Scottie, you look like you're pretty determined to get involved in the offense pretty early. Took a couple of shots early, kind of paid up some ground between you and Nurkic. How much have you been kind of going over that process the last few games, the way you've been covered?
I would say I probably just felt good early. Been working on it. Just wanted to step in there with confidence, be able to take up that space, shoot some, get to the mid-range. Just felt pretty good going early. So.
Does it help when, like, Turner, Lopez, Robinson, Nurkic, like, they're not the same type of defense, but, similar. Does it help when you see it so many games in a row and you can really adapt more quickly?
For sure. Seeing it constantly over and over these last, 5-6 games, just trying to adapt to that role. I'd say I like it, being able to facilitate the offense, keep moving it side to side, being able to go downhill, get an attack in the rim. I'm gonna say I like it. Just trying to move the ball and have a start for our offense.
I know it's not a typical point guard style role, but you are dictating pace for the offense. I'm curious if you like that aspect of it.
Yeah, I'm just at a different spot, I would say, but being able to just try to move it side to side, get it on double sides, just trying to get more ball movement than we usually have, trying to set good screens, being able to roll, trying to get others open as well as trying to be aggressive at certain points where I can take advantage of it.
Have you learned anything interesting about the art of screening or like opening guys up as you've been doing this more often?
Just be able to set them. I feel like a lot of times we whiffed out the way, not really setting them, but it's a good thing about being a good teammate, being able to set screens, trying to free other people, being able for them to get their shot ups off the screens. So I try to take pride in screening so other people can get open.
Scottie, it looked like there was a bit of a heated exchange of words between you and Thad in between halves during the warm-ups. From your perspective, what happened there?
It was just a little disagreement. It was nothing serious. You have some disagreements, but it was nothing serious.
Have you guys spoken since?
Yeah, that's my boy. I love that. Gave each other hugs, clapped it up. It's my boy, always.
Scottie, you had a ton of individual success last season. The team had a ton of success. What have you learned about the ups and downs of this season so far?
Say the difference is, of course, we lost a lot of games this year. Should have won a lot of close ones that we should come back fighting in the fourth. So we know we got some fight in us. We just know we just gotta change it, get those wins. It's a long season. It's hard fought. You gotta take it one game at a time right now.
Precious, you had an extremely effective game in the first shift that you came out and played. Coach talked about it even in the presser. How did it feel to be out there and kind of just finding your rhythm again?
I mean, it felt good. Like you said, I just gotta, keep finding my rhythm. That's only gonna come the more I play. So, just being out there, playing my game, and that's how I'm gonna get my rhythm back.
How has it been to, kind of get the conditioning back as well? Because that's a huge element, of course. Coach also talks about that. He's trying to find you more minutes. He also said that he wants to give you more minutes going into the second half of the season, and maybe even bring you in earlier. So, how does conditioning play into, even getting those minutes?
I mean, my conditioning is good. I think it's not going to take me too long to get back to, where I was if I got hurt. It's just something that comes with being, an athlete. I think, especially someone like with my body type and all that kind of stuff, I think it's easier for me to get back in shape. I don't have a problem with my conditioning. Once the opportunity comes and I'm out there, I think I'll find, once I hit my second wind, I'm good to go.
And then, of course, you guys did get a big win today. How did it feel to kind of just take this one and run home with it?
Man, you already know. We need every win moving forward from now on. So it was big. We got to start somewhere. So I think it's a good start. We just got to keep building from here and just building on this win that we got today.
Games for the bench in a row. How nice was it to be a part of, a few different groups that sort of contributed to the win today?
That was good. I think everybody did a really good job of just going in and doing their job, doing what we need to do in order to get a win. We didn't lose focus. We made sure we stayed locked in throughout the course of the game. Obviously, Dame and Anthony, they do a really good job of getting shots off and orchestrating the offense and getting them back into flow and chemistry for their team. But I think we did a really solid job. Bench came in and did what they're supposed to do, and then the starters finished it off.
Is it just a matter of finding that right group to go out? Because you're not a group. You're 2 or 3 at a time, 4 at a time sometimes.
Yeah, I think the units that we're putting on the court, it's sometimes it's a little hard on Nick, to find the right unit that's going to mesh well together because every game is different. every team that we play is different. Every scheme is different. And sometimes the matchups are different. So we can't just go with the same units and the same lineups every single game. So things change and things become different. But I think we're starting to figure things out, and we're starting to get ourselves back into that situation where we are figuring out really good lineups and figuring out who plays well with each other and who can take us home.
Keeping rhythm. Did you feel like there was a little bit more of a rhythm today?
Yeah, we definitely been struggling on the rhythm aspect. We haven't been finding our rhythm until fourth quarters, last 3 minutes. But the good thing is I feel like we're getting some flow and some chemistry. I feel like we're getting a lot of good rhythm and a lot of pace. I think that's one of the biggest things, just pace and moving the ball, great execution. Pascal, Fred, Scottie, they've been moving the ball and getting the ball swinging and moving and putting everybody in a really good position to where we can score the basketball.
Coach talked about making offensive and defensive tweaks before the game yesterday at practice. Was there anything in particular that kind of stood out to you that kind of really translated into this one?
No, just us just going out and playing harder than we've been playing, just making sure that we against opposing teams, put our foot down and impose our will on the game a little bit sooner than later. Can't just cruise into the games. We have to come out and be a force from get-go. As soon as the buzzer goes off, we have to be ready. And I think we're starting to do a good job of it.
The cameras caught you and Scottie at the beginning of the second half, sort of arguing without betraying anybody's confidence. What happened? And Scottie already said you guys are all right. So.
Yeah, we just had a disagreement. He actually told me he loved me. I told him I love him back. So no different than brothers going back and forth. Especially when we're both passionate about the game. I think that's one of the biggest things. We're both passionate about what we're doing, our craft, and just making sure that we get ourselves a win.
Unfortunate, obviously, with it happening on the court and there being cameras, but is that, and you've been around long enough, is that just the sort of things that happen over the course of a long season where you have occasional disagreements and then get over it?
Like I said, it's no big deal. It's just, brothers going back and forth, and like I said, we hugged it out, we adapted up, and he told me he loved me, and I told him I love him back. Just nothing different than that. So, for us, it's just about moving on to the next game and making sure that we're taking care of business each and every night.